Mr. Viebatiwi, are you here, please? Okay, I guess he's not here yet. Our keynote speaker, Ma'am Victoria. Victoria, are you here? If you're here, please, can you open your camera or your microphone, please? Mm-hmm. And Mr. Journal Niper, are you here, please?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. So I guess I will give 1 minute and we will wait for our keynote speaker, Ma'am Victoria, the founder of March to Sustainability from Nigeria.
Oh,
Sorry about interruption. We're waiting for our keynote speaker to get started. First of all, let's welcome again our guests and everyone who's attending this event. I'll repeat it. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to session 8 of the Climate Action and Education Forum 2026. Uh, okay. Focused on climate finance, investment, and sustainable partnership. My name is Islam Tweti, and I'm very glad to join you today as youth representative from Spain and as your moderator for this session. We often talk about climate solution, innovation, sustainability, but one question is fundamental. How do we make sure that good ideas actually receive the financing, partnership, and support they need to reach communities and scale? Today, we will explore that question from different perspectives: sustainability, finance, and youth leadership. So I guess let's begin. I want to introduce our panelist and keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker will be Mrs. Victoria Chris, the founder of March to Sustainability from Nigeria. We have in the panelist Mr. Viebatiwi, the financial services in Ministry of Finance from Tunisia, and of course our journal Miper, a youth representative from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I will repeat my call. Uh, Mrs. Victoria, are you here, please? If you're hearing me, please, can you open your microwave?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mrs. Victoria.
Oh, hi, Islam.
Hi. It's my pleasure to welcome you in our room. So thank you for being with us today. We look forward to hearing your perspective on sustainability and climate action. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone. What a beautiful sessions we have had. Very insightful conversations we've had, very forward-moving and action-propelling. And I really just want to celebrate every single person who has taken out the time to be here. In this session, we're going to be speaking very briefly on climate finance, investment, and sustainable partnership. Victoria Chris, I am a sustainability advocate, a corporate sustainability lawyer and practitioner in Nigeria, and the founder of Match to Sustainability. And it's a pleasure to be here. Today, we're just going to begin by discussing very briefly what we understand. I mean, the reason why we're here is because we're talking climate, we're talking action, we're talking education, and we're trying to think of all the mechanisms we can use to ensure that um, money, finance, and education reaches the right people so that it can enable impact across our regions, across our countries, which is why this particular topic is very important. And I feel like it is the crux of almost every single thing that we do. As young people, we know that funding is a major problem. We know that the financial constraints that are involved in creating and elongating sustainability is a major problem, which is why we're going to be having this discourse very briefly. So what is climate finance? When we think of climate finance, what do we think? I know so many people hear concept, we have an idea of what the concept means, but then I want you to think of money, think of that your country holds. Think about all the money that is available in your particular region. Think of all the finance that is to loan us. Just think about the money that moves across the world and think as concept that tries to moves to the right place. That is the climate money move these investors. How do we ensure that the money is channeled from government policies, their bills, their budgets? How do they get monies to ensure that the environment, the climate protect advocates is um um hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Islam, am I still being heard?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
hearing
go
you.
ahead.
So, Ma'am Victoria,
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. My network glitched for a bit. All right, so as I was saying,
yeah, it's okay. It's
the
okay.
money that is being circulated around the world's economic and financial ecosystem flows into climate change and helping people survive climate repercussions. Think about, flood-proof housing. Think about climate-resistant crops. Think about clean transport. A lot of people a lot of countries rather in the global south are trying to ensure that clean energy is something that is no longer we aspire to perspire. It's something that we have as a norm, right? So basically, this is what climate finance is. Just think of the money and funds, but now it has a new job. It's being channeled to the right places. So why does this matter to us as young people, as investors, as founders, as creators, and all of that? It matters to us because this is how we ensure that there is longevity. Rather, this is how we ensure that there is longevity. This is how we ensure that the right people are brought on board. This is how we ensure that we can adequately sustain our initiatives. This is how we ensure that the climate is adequately protected. We don't want to think of situations where investors are asking, "Oh, are you sure that we want to invest in this particular new strain of green or resilient crops?" And then the farmer is saying something like, "Oh, well, we need more funding." And then the investor is thinking, "Okay, so how do I get the funding to you?" And those gaps, those exigencies, those gaps, those are the things that we now have to discuss and think of ways to plug them. So where does the world stand today? For many of us in this room, we have had experience with building sustainability initiatives. We have had experience with trying to create green and climate related programs and initiatives in different various forms, right? But why does this matter to you? Because it simply means that now you can take your feet off the pedal. You know that, oh, the right people are on board. You know that, oh, I don't have to be thinking, oh, in the next 5 years, am I going to still be funded? You don't have to be thinking, oh, what if so person plugs off, or what if one so person disconnects from this particular idea? No. You are sure that, oh, in the next 5 years, we can be rest assured that solar panels are going to be delivered to rural areas. You're going to be rest assured that, oh, more investors are aware of the possibilities, are aware of the advantages of investing in these climate solutions. Now, that's one of the reasons why you should be bothered and why we should care and why we should have this conversation, which leads me to the second thing that we're going to talk about today, climate partnership. A lot of people, which is why I'm really, really excited for what this foundation is building, why we have this forum, because this in itself is a partnership. This in itself is a forum where ideas are being exchanged. We are rubbing minds, and now we are going to leave this room with ideas that can change our world, right? So the world stands currently in a place where the global south, Africa as it seems, and majority of the third world countries who have the most viable means for climate sustainability are not being adequately funded. And I will tell you for a fact, having worked in corporate in West Africa and having had the opportunity rather to, be involved rather and engaged with a larger regional project, I understand that the problem now is investors do not understand why they should invest in climate finance. They are thinking to themselves, oh, is this something that I want to spend my money on? Most of them, even those who now invest, they are thinking, oh, I'm investing just because it is nice on paper to say, oh, this is part of my CSR objective. They don't have the formal grounding of how this would be replicated in the future, what it would mean for us as a people, as a continent, what it would mean for the world at large, and how much money. I try as a business person, I try as much as possible to balance, but then I moves the money. In your country, who moves the money? Startups. You think of those people who, oh, these are the movers and shakers of money in this particular economy or in this particular industry. We think of governments. And for many of us here, we have had to interact with our government, our local government authorities, our state authorities, and we know that policies that affect climate, most of them exist. If they do now exist, they are very shallow. They don't pull funding, they don't pull investors, they don't pull loan vendors, they don't pull partnerships from individuals and organizations into the climate financial funnel, which is why we're having this conversation today. We need to ensure that everyone is aware. We need to ensure that even with our initiatives, we are pushing beyond, oh, I'm creating a green solution. We are pushing beyond, oh, maybe this is too big for me. Oh, maybe I don't have access to this room. Oh, maybe investors will not be interested in this idea. One of the laws of continuity is that the more an idea is sold to you, the more you see it, the more it becomes appealing to you, the more, we call it FOMO, fear of missing out, the more investors begin to think, oh, I need to cash in on this. The more, imagine we hear today that Elon Musk wants to invest maybe over $300 billion into climate finance in major regions in the world. I bet you that in that moment, the stock exchange, the major financial systems would shift, because people begin to realize that if Elon can invest here, oh, why shouldn't I? He's seen something that I haven't seen. Oh, there's something here. There's a cash flow here. There's a cash bag here, and I need to cash in on it. So that's it. This is really just me. This is really me, rather, just telling every single one of us, because as climate advocates, we need to ensure that beyond the conversations around climate finance, we can get people aware. A lot of us are doing so many brilliant things. A lot of us are doing fantastic things. We're building fantastic things. But how do we get investors on board? And this is why, for us, we need to get people who are aware. People who are aware in your industry. How many people know the advantages of, investing in climate? How many people know the advantages of investing in green solutions? How many people know the advantages of impact related investing? How many people know beyond the moral or social, beyond the, oh, it's a good thing to do just because, okay, you can say that, oh, if I want to get potential investors, I can say that, oh, I have been able to run about 15 sustainability projects in so rural areas. No, that's good on paper. We don't want that. And that's why we're here. We don't want people just reeling out numbers to us anymore. We want to get the right people on board. And how we're going to do it, like I mentioned before, is continuously talk about it. Your proposal should look like it. In building, in pitching, it should look like we are aware of the advantages of this thing that we are building, and now we want to get you in on board. It changes the game. It changes the game. And I am grateful to every single person here who has put in the work, who has gone beyond themselves to get people on board, who has gone beyond themselves to reach out to potential partners, who has gone beyond themselves to even get government institutions on board. I celebrate you, I applaud you, and I think we can do more. I think we can do more. The world would need it in 5 years from now, 3 years from now. The world would need it. The world would need it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much, Victoria, for that insightful keynote. That was really informative and impressive, and for setting the stage for our conversation. I would now like to explore how we can turn these ambitions into practical and scalable solutions. Victoria, why is climate finance still difficult to access for many communities and countries that need it most?
Thank you so much, Islam. Okay, so the reason why climate finance is inaccessible to many regions and countries is because, number one, there is a shortage of, how do I put this now? There's a shortage of both understanding and exemplary Okay, yeah, sorry. There's a shortage of understanding, yes, and exemplary movement towards climate finance. So what I mean by exemplary movement is, so let me think of a country. Let me use Nigeria as an example. In Nigeria, we don't have so many people investing in climate-related solutions or climate-related initiatives because, first of all, they don't know why they should. And secondly, they have not seen an example, like a replicable example of why they should or what has worked or why so thing is important enough for them to care. So this is in itself is one of the reasons why it has become inaccessible. Another major reason is because we as climate advocates, we as climate practitioners, and all of us in all our different forms, we have for a long time, we have not been too comfortable with pitching, with pushing out these proposals to them. Beyond saying, oh, I want to get maybe people from my community, I want to get state actors on board. How about reaching out to potential investors in your larger region? How about reaching out to potential investors? You know, one of the things that we'll say in Nigeria is that if you want to get somebody on board, you have to be able to present to that investor or to that partner, that prospective partner, you have to present to them a system that works. They have to see a system that works. And we know that, like we always say, that a man in his community, he's most often looked down on. If you can pitch it to an investor who has seen the market value, who has seen the social economic value of what you're doing, you have gotten every single other person who needs to be on board. So it's how we are able to propose the advantages of this to a wider audience. That's it.
Thanks a lot. So briefly, you will give like an advice. What would like funders to do differently?
What would funders?
Yeah, what will be done differently to solve those problems and obstacles?
Okay, I think the answer to this is, like I had mentioned and reiterated, I will just reiterate it again. What we can do differently is we need to create a system where it's a normal conversation, where climate investment is a normal conversation. I had talked about how, you know, the more you get something pushed out, the more you get the advantages of a product or of a service or of a particular initiative, the more you get it out there, the more you're likely going to see market pull, the more you're likely going to see funding into that particular thing. So we need to get more people, more of us. That's just the truth. So now I'm thinking to myself, oh, what's Islam building? And I'm saying, okay, so how can we ensure that, okay, from this area, this region, this continent, we can create like a general pool where people know that, oh, if you need funding for so initiative, if you need funding for maybe in the agric sector, if you need funding for green energy inventions, you can access it. It becomes easier because now we're doing it together. It becomes easier because now the investor is thinking, oh, this is a credible body, this is a credible pool of organizations that we know, oh, okay, somebody's saying, oh, because you know, the thing about business is you have to think like a businessman. You have to think, oh, what would appeal to him? What would appeal to his business strategy? So he goes through maybe the pool and he says, oh, so for the year 2027, we're thinking of investing more in clean energy reforms.
Yeah.
And they go through that pool and they say, oh, so these are the two countries in this particular region, two organizations rather in this particular region, they are doing something that we can plug. And they're like, without even having to oversell yourself, that community creates leverage. It creates credibility beyond what you would do alone. So you're talking to a founder on your own and they're wondering, okay, but you're a small organization or you just have this patent, we need to see big numbers. you can say, oh, okay, so this is what we have partnered with. These are the organizations that we are currently partnering with. If you fund us, if you invest in us, you are ultimately investing in the, the chain or the downline of organizations that are connected to us. That's how to think. That's how we sort of create new ways to get them interested.
Thank you, Victoria. I would like to bring in the youth and community perspective. Journal, from your experience as a young leader from the Democratic Republic of Congo, how can funders better support youth-led and community-led climate solution?
How can funders support?
Thank you very much for the question. First of all, I would like to correct some certain things. I'm not from DRC, I'm from Brazzaville. I'm currently working as a monitoring and evaluation officer at the Center for Renewable Energy here in Republic of Congo, Centre des énergies renouvelables in French. And I'm also intervening as a climate technology expert at the United Nations Climate Technology Centers and Gender Network. So to respond to the question, I think that funders need to give youth and community more direct access to finance, more flexible funding, and longer time horizons. So while still ensuring that funded organization meet clear climate, financial, and governance criteria. So the things that we are observing right now is that we have to recognize that not every organization that presents itself as a climate organization necessarily as doing on climate solutions. Unfortunately, climate change can also become, or as yet became for certain person, an opportunity for organizations just to attract funding without generating meaningful climate outcome. So therefore, I would not argue for removing the requirements imposed by funders. Rather, I will need to make the requirements proportionate and accessible to smaller organizations while maintaining proper due diligence. So, for instance, a small community organization should not necessarily be expected to have the same administrative capacity as an international NGO before receiving a small grant. So, the funders could provide a smaller initial grant, assess the organization, its performance, governance, and result, and then progressively increase the financing. So funders should therefore look at these three things, principally what I'm saying. So the first thing is the credibility of the organization. That's very important to show that is this organization credible? Can we provide them money and can we get the expected result? So the second thing is the relevance of the organization and the feasibility of the proposed solution. Are they attainable? Are they smart? Can we measure the result? And the last one is the evidence of actual or potential climate impact. Principally, when we are talking about climate finance, we should not forget that the principle of the fundamental objective of climate finance is to support mitigation, resilience. Briefly, is to provide funds to support community to adapt to the impact of climate change, while also ensuring that we can create a system where we strategically moving toward what I'm used to call low carbon technology. So I think that one thing that is also important is that support should not stop at providing money. Funders can also provide technical assistance in financial management, monitoring and evaluation, governance, and project development. I particularly appreciate this point. Some of the points that I highlight here, some United Nations organizations are yet doing it, such like the United Nations Development Programs. They are providing technical support, assistance, etc. But we need it to be much more broader for other organizations to provide not only financial assistance, but also technical assistance, monitoring, evaluation. Sometimes we have the issue of capacity. Sometimes we have issue of technical capacity, the lack of experts here, and etc. So the objective is not to make climate finance easier. That's something that I would like to mention here. It's not only about receiving funds, it's also about ensuring that while you are receiving funds, you will provide the expected result and having an impact in climate action, contributing to the SDG 13. So it is to make it more accessible to legitimate youth and community-led organizations while maintaining the safeguard necessary to ensure that climate finance actually delivers climate results.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate those insightful ideas. So I want to ask one more question, please. How can young people move
Yeah.
from being beneficiaries to becoming co-designers, implementers, and leaders?
Can you come again? Having some connectivity issues here.
Sorry?
Can you come again? Having some connectivity issues here. You know, get
I
you
said,
I'm struggling.
I said, how can young people move from being beneficiaries to becoming co-designers and leaders? Journal, are you hearing me, please?
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Having
Yeah.
an issue.
Your voice is not clear. I get
We should move. Young people should have a different technology to. Oh, I am.
Journal. I guess we lost connection with Journal. It's okay. We will wait for him to continue his impressive ideas. So I think there is an interesting connections between both and perspectives that we heard and we listened. Financing on one side and youth ownership in the other. So what would it actually take to move a promising climate solution from one community to 100 or even 1,000? The room is yours, Victoria, if you're hearing me.
Hi, Islam, please come again with your question.
Okay, so I said, what would it actually take to move a promising climate solution from one community to 100 or 1,000?
What would it take to move a promising climate solution from one community to 100 communities?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's a very good question. All right. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to speak on this from a project management approach.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, Mpere is here,
Yes.
but
Sorry. I'm having some connectivity issues here. You know, the error is not very good.
Totally fine.
So, could you come again with your question?
Sorry, we moved to Victoria. We asked her a question, and I will repeat it
Oh, yes.
because
Okay.
I wanted
That's good.
to hear
That's
your
good.
opinion too. The question was, what would it actually take to move a promising climate solution from one community to 100 communities or even 1,000? So we are hearing the answer of Mrs. Victoria, and then I wanted to hear from you, your perspective in this point. Thank you.
That's good.
Victoria, should you please continue?
all right, thank you so much. Okay, so I was saying that I was going to come from a project management approach. And one of the ways to move something that has existed as a unit to a larger form is you must build for us as builders and creators of sustainability or climate related solutions and initiatives and inventions and all of that. To move to that large scale, you must be able to create a system that is replicable. So what you would do in as a unit somewhere in Lokoja in Nigeria, you know that for somewhere else in Lagos, which is the hub of business or the hub of entrepreneurship in Nigeria or West Africa, you know that the dynamics of what you're building the essence of it would not change, but the modus operandi for how you operate as a unit would definitely change. So you must build a system that is replicable and a system that can withstand the various business or economic or social ecosystems that you're going to be spreading into. So that calls for foresight thinking. It calls
Sorry
for us
to
to.
interrupt, sorry, but we
All
have
right.
just 5 minutes. So could you
All right.
briefly answer it, please, to give the word to Mr. Journal?
All
Thank
right.
you.
So basically,
Mhm.
we need to build replicable systems that can be replicable in as many other ecosystems as much as that you're going to need expansion for. That's one. Then secondly, you need to be able to think ahead, think futuristically. That's about it. So let me give the mic to Mpere to continue.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, thank you very much. I particularly agree with what she said. Replicable system that will be very useful in order to ensure that we are moving through a sustainable way, not only to provide fund temporarily, but also ensuring that those projects will continue and so on. So, one thing that I would like to add that I think it will be better to develop a result-based approach. I particularly appreciate the approach that and different perspectives that have been developed principally by Begon Climate Fund. I've been working with them for some months, etc. And there are a lot of things that have been developed in order to have a very promising climate finance approach. And I think that what they are doing actually is a very good job. But they need just now to move beyond the traditional system to set a result-based system. Because there are certain organizations, as I said it, I've been working with different NGOs, civil society organizations, etc. There are some people, unfortunately, who are taking climate change for a business. They are thinking that no, it is something that have been invented, etc. So we are having, that those issues of climate disinformation, etc. Some people who are not trusting that climate is a real problem, and some are trying to move beyond it and try to get like a business and try to be proposing something like to base approach. We're gonna evaluate each proposal that has been submitted through a specific criteria that we established, and we should be that system also should be should normally I think so what should so if it was given to me like to propose it, it will be a system that will be incrementally following the progress of the project, not to providing the fund totally as requested, but giving it incrementally and being sure that the fund that we are providing is delivered for the intended output.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
briefly, we need to develop a result-based system that will ensure that we are financing based on the result that we are seeing.
Okay, okay. Thank you both for sharing those perspectives. Of course, finance and scale don't happen in isolation. They require partnership. So briefly, who needs to be at the table that's currently missing?
Unity, sorry?
Who needs to be in the table that is currently missing? Who's the partner or the part of this process to be done that is missing to succeed in this thing in the climate?
So I think that a lot of things are being yet done since by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, complemented by all the financial mechanism, including the GCF, Global Environmental Facility, Climate Adaptation Fund, etc. So we are actually ensuring that we have a system where inclusivity is ensured, that all stakeholders are taking place during the different cycle of the process, etc. So I cannot say that we should allow everybody to take part at all the steps of the process. It's not possible, you know. For instance, for climate finance, it's a very critical things to do. You know how Green Climate Fund are getting money? It's country we are contributing, private sector, etc. So they have the responsibility to manage that money properly, ensuring that the money that they are providing are delivered for the intended output and contributing to fight climate change around the world. So they need to set their own criteria. They need to set their specific indicator that organization, people who are requesting for fund, whether NGOs, civil society organization, are submitting, are responding to those indicators and those criteria so that we can track the project. So I do think that a lot of have been done, and many people today know how to submit a proposal to different climate mechanisms, etc. I think that inclusivity is not something that we're gonna reach actually. It's something that we're gonna move incrementally. As we are moving, we are learning from the failures and we are improving. So we are integrating many people, public actor, decision makers, private sectors, indigenous community, NGO, etc. So everyone has been integrated. It remains now to the NGO, the civil society organization, to try to get a better solution in order to get involved in the process. We are saying that it's open to everybody. It's open to everybody now to attend the COP. It's open to everybody now to submit a proposal. We need just to respond to the specific indicators and criteria that have been set by the fund.
Thanks a lot. So we are coming
Yeah, and
toward
I would
the
like to add,
final.
just if you want, for instance, to get some information, you can just we want, for instance, to submit a proposal to Green Climate Fund. You can go on the website, you will get the information how your proposal
Okay.
should be structured, what your proposal should be respect to, and what is they are expecting from your proposal, and then you can submit your proposal.
Thanks a lot for this opportunity. So we're coming toward the final part of our conversation. So I would like to bring us to one final question in 1 minute answer, please. If you had the resources and the right partners to fund one climate education intervention at scale today, what would you fund and why? So I will give it first of all to Victoria if she's here. You may answer this question, this final one. Victoria?
Hi, Islam. So I'm about leaving for another meeting. Can Mpere answer the question?
Okay. Okay.
Yes, please. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Victoria. So I truly appreciate the question, you know. I'm trying to put myself in the shoe of the private actor or the climate mechanism who is trying to finance a project. This is a great question. I think it's a very curious question. So if I had the resources to fund one intervention at scale today, I would invest in a large scale program focused on climate awareness, capacity building, and practical green skill for young people and community. So,
Okay.
but I will not to create a parallel education system or treat this as a completely separated climate education sector. I will instead integrate it into existing education, vocational training, and community development system. So I will focus particularly on practical skill linked to climate challenges that the community are already experimenting. For instance, climate smart agriculture, renewable energy, water management, energy efficiency, waste management, especially waste management. This is a critical problem in Africa. We are truly struggling with this problem, and ecosystem restoration. So the reason is that climate change is not only an environmental problem, it is also a capacity problem. Community may face drought, flood, heat, declining. We saw it some days ago. I think it was yesterday, something like that, in Nepal. People are suffering there. There are a lot of people who have lost their life, and it's serious there. So people are maybe facing drought, flood, etc. But their ability to respond depend heavily on whether they have access to knowledge, they have access to technology, they have the required skill, and the appropriate resources to face the issue. So, for instance, in a community increasingly affected by drought, okay? So the intervention could combine public awareness, climate information with training in water management, and climate resilience agriculture practices. So young people could receive technical trainings in areas such as solar irrigation or renewable energy maintenance, creating an additional livelihood opportunity. So I would also make sure that the program has a clear pathway beyond training. People need access to technology, finance, market, employment opportunity to actually apply what they have learned. Because there is no need. I think this is one of the problems that I completely disagree with some of climate mechanism. They are training people, they are providing funds for capacity building, public awareness, etc. But what are the benefits of training people who will not use those knowledge that will provide them? What are the benefits of spending money on people who will not use those skills? So it should be very, very important also to accompany them, ensuring that they have access to technology. They have access not only to the fund that we are provided, but also to the market, or to employment opportunity. So if I had to summarize my choice, I would find an intervention that to connect climate knowledge, practical skill, access to solution, livelihood, and greater resilience. Let us not forget that the main objective of climate fund is first to help community to adapt to the impact of climate change and to develop measures to reduce the emission of GHG into the atmosphere.
That was so impressive. I truly appreciate your idea and your perspective. So, thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Journal, for sharing your perspectives with us. I think one of the key messages from this conversation is that climate action is not only about having good ideas, it's about creating the financing, partnership, and opportunities that allow those ideas to reach communities and scale. And importantly, young people need to be part of the process, not only as beneficiaries, but as co-designer, implementers, and leaders. Thank you to everyone who
Yeah, sure.
joined us.
For the sorry, I would like
It's
to add
okay.
something. My last advice to all the NGO leaders, the civil society organization, or any other organization who are present to this meeting is that you can actually get fund for your NGO, for your organization. The thing that you need to do is to develop a proposal, to develop a very good proposal that is addressing a real problem in the community where you are. Then you need to target the appropriate climate mechanism. It can be GCF. There are many. There are the Green Climate Fund, Global Environmental Facility, Climate Adaptation Fund, etc. You need to target a specific one who will provide the fund. And while drafting your proposal, you need to ensure that your proposal responds to the specific criteria of what the fund is requiring from you. So each funders has its criteria and indicator of that they are expecting. I have experience with GCF, a Green Climate Fund. So generally, what they are expecting is that your proposal, not only solves the problem in the community, but also contribute to the agenda of a GCF. And also to the global agenda, for instance, the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals. So what you need to do briefly, develop your proposal, target the appropriate funds, they are available online, and then ensure that you respond to the specific criteria and indicator that they are expecting from your proposal. And I bet you're gonna get the fund.
Yeah, thanks a lot for those like guidelines, I can say. That's so informative for someone who's really interested in the subject. You have all to take note, actually. So thank you to everyone who joined us and for being part of the Climate Action and Education Forum 2026. Let's continue turning ideas into actions. Thank you all, and I will be like your moderator for next session, the session 9.